I invite you to connect with the voices of the Bible as we explore John 19:23-30, the final moments of Jesus on the cross. This passage comes during Holy Week, the most intense days in the Christian story. Jesus has been arrested, tried, beaten, and crucified, and now, in his last breaths, we discover who stayed and who scattered. What we find here isn't just a record of death, it's a portrait of presence, of what it means to remain when everything falls apart. John's gospel tells the crucifixion differently than the other gospels. Matthew and Mark describe the disciples fleeing. Luke mentions the crowds watching from a distance, but John brings us close. In John's account, specific people stand near the cross, not at a safe distance, but right there. This matters because John has been building toward this moment throughout the entire gospel. The beloved disciple who leaned against Jesus at the Last Supper is now standing at the foot of the cross. The mother who watched Jesus turn water into wine at a wedding in Cana now watches him die. John wants us to see that the people who were present at the beginning are present at the end. The Roman soldiers are present too, but their presence is different. They divide Jesus' garments and cast lots for a seamless tunic. They're physically close, but spiritually absent, going about their business while the most significant event in history unfolds in front of them. John draws a sharp contrast between being near and being present. The passage opens with the soldiers dividing Jesus' clothes in verses 23 and 24. This detail fulfills Psalm 22, but John includes it for more than prophecy. The soldiers reduce Jesus to an object. His garments are more interesting to them than his suffering. They represent a kind of presence that isn't really presence at all, occupying the same space without engaging what's actually happening. Then in verses 25 through 27, we get the heart of the passage. Jesus looks down from the cross and sees his mother and the beloved disciple standing nearby. Even in agony, Jesus notices who showed up, and he does something remarkable. He creates a new family. Woman, here is your son. Here is your mother. In his final moments, Jesus isn't focused on himself. He's binding people together. He's ensuring that those who stayed with him will stay with each other. The passage ends in verses 28 through 30 with two of the most powerful words in Scripture. I am thirsty reveals Jesus' full humanity. This is real suffering, not a performance. And then, it is finished. In the original Greek, this word means completed, accomplished, fulfilled. It's not a cry of defeat. It's a declaration that everything God set out to do through Jesus has been accomplished. And the people who stayed are the ones who hear it. This passage asks us a direct question. What kind of presence do we offer? The soldiers were there, but they weren't really there. They were going through the motions while missing the meaning. We know what that feels like. We sit in the hospital room scrolling our phones. We might attend a funeral, but leave before the family needs us most. We might say, I'm here for you, but hope they don't actually take us up on it. The women and the beloved disciple offer a different model. They didn't have solutions. They couldn't stop the crucifixion. They couldn't take away the pain. All they could do was stand near, and that was enough. Their presence didn't change the outcome, but it changed the meaning. Jesus didn't die alone. He died seen, loved, and accompanied. This Holy Thursday, as we remember the Last Supper and follow the story to the cross, we're invited to ask, who needs us to stay? Where is God asking us to stand near even when we can't fix anything? The good news of this passage is that presence matters more than performance. Showing up, really showing up, is one of the most Christ-like things that we can do. Because on the cross, even Jesus needed someone to stay. As you reflect on these voices of the Bible, consider the witnesses who stood near the cross. They didn't have answers. They didn't have power. They had presence. And Jesus noticed. This Holy Thursday, ask yourself, where is God inviting you to stay?